Phoenix, Arizona. That night, thousands of people looked up at the sky at the exact same moment, and many of them claimed to witness the same thing: a massive dark shape, rows of strange lights, a movement that was unnaturally silent. The problem was, the object did not look like ordinary aircraft lights. Witnesses later said the shape was enormous, large enough to cover sections of the city itself. And even today, nobody has fully explained what moved across the skies above Phoenix that night. The incident began on the night of March 13, 1997. The first reports came from drivers traveling across Nevada. Several people noticed a formation of lights moving slowly through the night sky. At first, it appeared to be a group of aircraft, but something felt wrong. The lights maintained perfect spacing. Their movement was unusually slow, and perhaps most disturbing of all, there was almost no sound. Some witnesses pulled their vehicles to the side of the road and continued watching. Then gradually people began realizing something unsettling. They were not looking at separate aircraft. They were looking at one enormous object, a massive shape with lights attached beneath it. And slowly, the object continued moving southward, toward Arizona, toward Phoenix. That night, something enormous appeared to be moving across the desert sky. Hours later, people across Phoenix began reporting the same object. Emergency lines, police stations, local television networks. Calls flooded in from every direction, and nearly every witness described similar details: a triangular formation, slow movement, and complete silence. Some witnesses claimed the object passed directly above them. The problem was its size. Several people described it as larger than a football field. Others claimed it appeared as large as an entire city block. And strangely, many witnesses insisted there was no wind beneath it, no engine noise, no propellers, only silence. A massive darkness moving slowly through the sky. Some people later claimed they could no longer see the stars behind the object, as though something enormous was physically blocking the sky itself. And at that moment, many people described the same feeling: fear, pressure, and the disturbing sensation that they were standing far too close to something they could not understand. As the incident spread, the United States military began responding publicly, but the initial reaction felt strange. Officials first claimed there had been no unusual activity. The problem was, thousands of people had already witnessed the lights, and among those witnesses were former pilots and military personnel. Several insisted the object did not resemble any conventional aircraft. One former pilot later stated, "It was unlike anything I had ever seen in the sky." Then came the rumors about radar. Some individuals claimed unusual movement had appeared on radar systems, but no clear records were publicly released, and that changed everything. People began suspecting the military was hiding something, because the scale of the event felt too large to dismiss as simple confusion. This was not a small number of witnesses. Thousands of people across Arizona were looking at the same sky at the same time. Many witnesses continued describing the exact same thing. The lights did not behave like separate aircraft. They moved as though attached to a single massive structure. Some people even claimed they could see the outline of the object itself, a black triangle or a gigantic boomerang shape. But perhaps perhaps the strangest detail was the movement. Despite its enormous size, the object moved smoothly. No vibration, no roaring engines. And according to some witnesses, there were moments when it appeared to stop completely in the sky. At first, many suspected a classified military experiment. But according to several aviation experts, technology known at the time would have struggled to move an object that large so silently. And perhaps that became the most unsettling part. Many witnesses insisted it did not feel like they were observing a normal aircraft at all. Some even claimed the object appeared to be observing them. And from that moment forward, the Phoenix Lights incident stopped feeling like a simple UFO sighting. People began feeling as though something enormous had quietly passed over an entire city. As the night grew darker, the lights slowly began disappearing. But the incident was not over. Several witnesses continued reporting strange lights hovering above nearby mountains outside the city. The lights maintained perfect spacing before gradually fading away. And during that time, people began recording the sky. Those recordings still exist today, the famous Phoenix Lights videos. But the videos were never the real mystery. The witnesses were. Entire neighborhoods stood outside together looking upward. People across Phoenix were filming the exact same event. For a brief moment, an entire city appeared to stop and stare at the sky together. And after that night, many witnesses continued repeating the same sentence. That was not just light. Eventually, the military provided an explanation. Officials stated that military flare exercises had taken place that night, and according to them, many witnesses may have mistaken those flares for something extraordinary. Some footage did appear similar to military illumination flares, but there was a problem. The explanation did not account for every report, especially the early sightings, the enormous triangular object, the silent movement directly above the city. Many witnesses insisted those details could not be explained by falling flares, because flares do not travel across entire cities. And perhaps the strangest detail was this. Even decades later, many witnesses have never changed their story. Despite criticism, despite ridicule, they continue saying the same thing. We know what we saw. And somehow, their certainty has never disappeared. Even today, the Phoenix Lights incident remains one of the largest mass UFO sightings in American history. Thousands of witnesses, numerous recordings, and people who had never met each other describing nearly identical events. Was it an optical illusion, a military experiment, or something that still cannot be explained? No final answer exists, but one fact still remains. Too many people saw the same thing, and they never forgot it. That night, too many people looked up at the sky together, and many described the same emotional reaction: fear, overwhelming silence, and the strange feeling that something enormous was watching the city below. Even after the incident, similar reports continued appearing across Arizona. Some people claimed they saw the same formation of lights again, but over time, the event became about more than simply what people saw. The real mystery was never the lights. It was the feeling, the pressure, the silence, the sense that something enormous was above them. A massive darkness moving slowly through the night sky. Perhaps people did not merely witness lights that night. Perhaps for a few moments, they were looking directly at something human beings were never meant to fully understand. Even today, people continue watching the Phoenix Lights footage, slow-moving lights, unexplained silence, and a massive shadow crossing above an entire city. The military claimed it was only flares, but many witnesses still reject that explanation because they remain convinced they saw something else. And even now, late at night, some people in Phoenix still look toward the sky and wonder. Something enormous crossed the city that night, silent, unexplained, and never forgotten. Was it truly human technology? Or for a brief moment, did thousands of people accidentally witness something not entirely human? This story ends here. But in the darkness, stories remain. Will you stay for the next one? Dark Case Hub.